Hello, I am the Understudy, and this is the channel where we discuss everything musical theater related. Today we are reading AP. What are we reading? We're reading Barron's AP Music Theory 3rd edition by Nancy Fuller-Scoggin, BME, and this is the last official part of it. This is a very long and extensive book, and I've worked my way through it to learn more. These videos have been a way for me to organize my own journey, and I'm so happy that you've taken it with me. And if you are still here, thank you so much for watching. There is another little appendix after the final two quizzes or the final two exams, practice exams. But this is the last official information part, and I'm really happy. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll make sure to answer them. So let's go. Part 22, Strategies for Sight Singing. For many students, the prospect of having to sing two melodies on the AP exam can be frightening and a traumatic experience. But it doesn't have to be. In order to be truly confident, or at least reasonably confident, you have to do one thing: practice singing. The students who do not do well on the exam are those who gave up in the beginning. Remember, it is not about being perfect, although many will sing the examples flawlessly. It is about demonstrating what you can do to the best of your ability. That means staying calm and focused and singing as much of the exercise as correctly as you can, recovering if you falter. Many students feel a certain amount of anxiety because it is as close to performing as there is on an exam. If that is the case, take the steps to eliminate anxiety just like you would if you were about to sing a solo on stage. Take deep breaths, have centered and focused thoughts, and prepare ahead of time. Now, we have 5 tips for successful sight singing. Tip 1, sing. Sing every day. Sing for 5 minutes a day while you are fixing your hair or driving to school. Establish a routine. Sing the scale degree finder in major and then repeat it in minor. Sing a major scale in intervals, plus the scale in thirds. Sing it with a parallel minor. Sing the tendency note patterns. Sing the do, mi, so, mi, do, or the fa, mi, the la, so, the do, ti, do, the re, do, the so, do. You can find all these in this previous chapter, I think. Anyways, combine the top 10 melodic patterns into these 3 exercises. Sing major and minor. So you have do, re, mi, fa, so, mi, re, do, mi, so, la, ti, do. If you want me to create a separate video on how to sing these, just let me know in the comments and I'll do so. We also have the number 2, so, do, mi, re, fa, mi, so, fa, lo, so, mi, fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do. You can also use the piano to go through these yourself. Number 3 is do, ti, do, mi, so, do, and do, re, mi, do, fa, so, do. So now you are connecting the dots, and that was a bass line, by the way, and maybe you can find out what chords are implied. Tip number 2, have a strategy. Plan to sing with syllables, numbers, or just on la. Don't sing nonsense. Don't sing tut, too many T sounds. But do sing with the same system each and every time a new melody is sung. Do not whistle and do not hum. Practice a plan B. Attempt the solfege, and if you get flustered, then drop the syllables and go with da or la or even nu. Solfege can be a valuable tool to determine interval and pitch. However, some students feel that if they are not completely comfortable with it, it almost seems like singing in a foreign language where using the right words outweigh the desired goal, the correct pitch and rhythm. Tip 3, perform with a steady tempo and a slower tempo. Do not start and stop when you sing. You get 1 point for not hesitating. It is called the flow point. The flow of the melody is an important part of the evaluation, so your performance needs to be consistent and steady. You don't get points for singing fast or with vibrato or great tone quality. If you sing very slowly, make sure you are prepared for holding out long notes the appropriate length. Tip 4, be rhythmically accurate. Make sure you give full durational values to the rhythms you sing, particularly with the last note of the melody. Students often sing a perfect melody and then lose 1 full point because the last note is not held to a full duration. This is most common in compound meter when the last note is usually a dotted quarter note. Tip 5, know your range and the range of the examples. This is so important. The exam will present the first note of the example that is to be sung, usually do. You do not have to sing in that key. However, you must maintain the key and tempo you establish with your first two notes. One of the examples will be in bass clef. Women are not expected to sing the example in bass clef, but in their own range. If you have a comfortable range of one octave, look at the example and see how far below and above the do is written. Rarely will both examples start on a low do and extend to a high do. What is common is for the example to start on the tonic and move below do to so, and then move above do also to so or la, usually ending on the original do. You may indeed have to sing an octave, but the octave may be between a low so and high so, and not the form do to do. Therefore, if you begin the example on the lowest note of your range, you have nowhere to go. Determine what note is the center of the example and make that note the center of your range. Some other hints that here are some more hints that might be helpful tips. So, 1. Practice the melody out loud. Start singing from the second time, from the second your time begins. Sing while you circle and write, or simply start singing at the beginning and work through to the end. Sing strong and confidently. Don't be afraid of your own voice. 2. Check the clef. One example will be in bass and one will be in treble. 3. Check the key signature and determine the key that you are to sing. This information is not given. You must make that identification and begin practicing immediately. One example will be in major and one will be in minor. Determine the meter. Establish your beat and tempo. Look for tricky rhythms and tap out the rhythms. One will be in simple meter and one will be in compound. 5. Sing the scale associated with the example, major or minor, and the tonic triad, including the low so. So, for example, 1 in scale degrees, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, down to the 5, and then back to 1. 6. Look for the patterns. There will be many familiar patterns and very often do, mi, so, or do, re, mi at the beginning. With a pencil, yes, pencils are allowed in the sight singing, circle all the do's and also mark any tricky solfege. You do not need to pencil in every single solfege syllable. It takes way too long and you only have 75 seconds. Remember, while you are marking, you should be singing. Look for the tricky melodic patterns. Perhaps sing fa, fi, so, an awkward leap, or a tricky rhythm. Isolate that tricky place and practice that. Sometimes you can find the pitch by working up the scale or down the scale by using the scale degree finder, which we have covered in previous videos. Work out any places that fell apart or that were incorrect. Perform the melody again correctly before practice time is over. We also have tip 6. Understand about scoring. Scoring the sight singing portion of the exam is done in half measure segments. In 4/4 time, that is the equivalent of 2 quarter notes, and in 6/8 time, that is the equivalent of 3/8 notes. For every half measure segment that is correct in pitch and rhythm, 1 point is awarded, plus 1 point is awarded for not hesitating, the flow point. The high score is 9 points. Alternate scoring is also possible through grading of pitch only, the high points of 4, or rhythm only, high points of 2 points. As you are preparing for the sight singing portion of the exam, practice the way you will do it on the exam. Limit your practice time to 75 seconds. After 75 seconds, sing the example straight through ones with no stops. Record your performance if possible. After performing, review your mistakes and determine whether it was the correct melody by playing it on the piano or another instrument. Ask your teacher to help you with scoring for accurate assessment of your skill. And that is the end of these chapters. That was the end of strategies for sight singing. Thank you so much for watching. If you have liked what you see, if you have made it this far and you've not subscribed yet, then you can continue doing that if you choose to, but I highly recommend that you subscribe because this channel seems to be one for you. If you have any questions, post it down below. As usual, I am so honored that you have listened to this because I'm not really sure that a lot of people actually are listening to this. So if you are, then wow, thank you so much. I am okay. I will see you in the quiz or the next videos. Thank you so much.